Hey friends, hope this finds you well. It's a lovely morning at the river. The sun is finally doing its work on the grasses and a lot of them are going brown. But a high tide last night I'm sure would have refreshed some of those close to the bank. Walk along this path that is well-trodden. It's probably the central path along this riverbed, but there's lots of other paths that I often take, but they're not quite as well travelled. And so they're a bit more tricky. Can't always see what's underfoot. Often you'll get the saps off the grasses on your legs because they're high. So it's maybe a bit slower. It's very similar to how our body works, these pathways of information. And when we train, when we engage in physical acts, we're actually creating these pathways. So a good example is when you practice a movement or something for the first time, you feel uncoordinated. And basically what you're doing is you're starting to send these signals, create these neural pathways of movement, connection to our muscles and our brain, our nervous system, carrying the information. And the more these become developed, the more coordinated we are. That's when we learn a movement. So very much the same way, when we're finding things a bit tricky, maybe we're not very fast, maybe we can't dance a particular dance, we have to practice and create these pathways. Just like walking the grasses, we have to make it clear, make it as frictionless as possible for the ultimate performance in whatever task you're trying to do. An amazing thing is as well in psychology is that we understand that actually you can create these pathways not just by physical practice but by mental rehearsal. I mean, how amazing is that? You're just by imagining a thing, you can have a physical impact on your body. I've had a bit of experience in this when I used to skateboard. I used to imagine mental imagery of doing a trick. And I remember one particular one, I actually landed the trick first time, never doing it before, purely by just taking my body through this mental imagery of what it would be like to do it. I almost couldn't believe it happened. And there's lots of statistics around research, particularly on shooting basketball hoops, practicing to doing it in a dark room and seeing the effect on your performance as opposed to physically practicing. It's amazing. I think for us, as we practice physical prayer, we can take that beyond that again. Like, what are we dwelling on? What are we thinking on? What habits are we forging just by our daily thoughts and our practices? And actually, not just our physicality, not just learning a movement or increasing in strength or speed, but what are we doing that impacts our lives? What are we practicing? What are we thinking on? It's a challenging thought. It's a challenging idea, but one I hope that can also give us hope. Hope for change, hope for freedom of negative habits, freedom of body and mind. Have a great day, friends. Peace and love.